It's 7 p.m. and I'm calling to order this meeting of the Maine Township Board. Would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Clerk, can you roll call?
Assessor Cry, Highway Commissioner Bouvet, Clerk Giolama's here, Supervisor Diamond,
Here.
Trustee Jones,
Here.
Trustee Horvath,
Here.
Trustee Maher,
Here.
Trustee Malik.
Here.
Thank you very much. All right, let's start on our agenda. We have a motion to approve the minutes of the April 26, 2022 board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of April 26th, 2022 meeting. Second.
Any questions or comments? Can you roll call that?
Supervisor Diamond,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee Horvath,
Yes.
Trustee Maher,
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes.
We have a motion to approve the general assistance expenditures.
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of April 29th, 2022 and May 13th, 2022, and general town fund checks number 59434 through check number 59503 in the amount of $359,077.53.
Second.
Any questions or comments on that motion? May I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond,
Yes?
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee Horvath,
Yes.
Trustee Maher,
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes.
May I have a motion to approve the road district? Oh, wait. Okay. We're just going to switch those around. So that was the town fund motion, but now may I have a motion to approve the general assistance expenditures. So we just approved the general town fund expenditures, and now motion to approve the general assistance expenditures.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'll make a motion to approve payroll for pay dates of April 29th, 2022 and May 13th, 2022, and general assistance checks number 54086 through check number 54148 in the amount of $59,548. Second.
Any questions or comments on that? A roll call?
Supervisor Diamond,
Yes?
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee Horvath,
Yes.
Trustee Maher,
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes.
All right, finally, can I have a motion to approve the road district expenditures?
I'll make a motion to approve payroll for pay dates of April 29, 2022, and May 13, 2022, and road district checks number 22369 through check number 22407 in the amount of $134,458.25.
Second.
Questions or comments on that? Roll call?
Supervisor Diamond,
Yes?
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee Horvath,
Yes.
Trustee Maher,
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Now we are on that part of the agenda, related to public participation, and we do have our request. Audrey? Oh, there you are. Audrey, name Purvis? Audrey, am I saying your name right? I'm not sure.
Yes, Nan Purvis.
Okay, all right. How are you?
Doing well.
Sure.
Okay. I came with two neighbors today because we all have Comcast. And the garbage truck went through this morning about maybe 7:35 or 7:40 and yanked the cable out. So we have nothing going on in our house. And of course, I have a landline, but it's connected to my Wi-Fi. So I don't have it right now. Well, we spent the day calling people and calling the township, calling around. We don't know where to go because the pole across the street that it was attached to is leaning over our street. It's in front of Chrissy's house. And This has happened before, maybe about 10 years ago. That telephone pole was burning one day when I looked out of my kitchen window. So I called the fire department. They came, put out the fire, and then they went. I said, "You leave the pole?" They said, "Sure, it's still good." Well, now it's not good. It's leaning. So we don't know who we go to. I've talked to Comcast. I've talked to the Philippines. Because that's where the Comcast people are at. Nader has called, many calls today. This is in the, what do I want to say? The right of way. So it's always been somebody else who comes and fixes these poles. And there are electric lines running along there also. So nobody really wants to touch it. So we don't know who to go to when we came here.
Was Flood Brothers one of the companies that you called?
Flood Brothers was the one that pulled the line down today.
Yeah, right, okay. Did you contact them by any chance?
No, I have not.
Okay, all right, so you're just trying to get the pole
Just-
straightened out right now?
The pole has to be removed, I think. They'll have to put another pole in next to the one that's there and then attach these lines, because Chrissy's cable is doing this now and hanging down low. Janina's and mine are coiled up on the grass, so nothing is connected there.
Is it only cable on that pole, Audrey, or?
There's one big pole that they put in maybe 5 years ago, and they've got other things on that, and I'm assuming that's the electric line. It looks like a bigger line. But the cable is down below. Now, if other people in our neighborhood could have somebody other than Comcast, it wouldn't affect them. Because it just doesn't.
Nader, you didn't have anybody that owned up to owning that pole? Of all the people you contacted?
Okay, so everything that's going on, that's not a power line pole that's behind it. That's totally communication, which is AT&T and Comcast. I reached out to both of them. Again, the same thing that she was getting to run around and what have you. OEM is on top of it. I also spoke to the fire department. They're on top of it also. Who owns the pole? I can't really answer that. Who will replace it? I'm sure it has to be a communication pole. It's not a power line pole because that's behind it. And it's got the 3 heavy-duty wires up there. I know that for sure.
Audrey, if you could give me the address,
Sure.
or you sent it to me, right? You said? the address?
9329.
Okay. I'll have the guys go out and look at it, and maybe they could determine who owns it.
Yeah, it's on 9320 property.
There's cones there identifying the poles leading.
9320
9th Street.
9th.
KMH Street. Yeah.
It's a bad day for Comcast. In my business in Mount Prospect today, a truck was making a bad turn. Same thing happened. Took out the lines for Comcast. We had no Comcast at work all day today.
Well, the last time this happened, when the other garbage company took out the lines, I didn't have service for 6 days.
Oh, wow.
They have lots of excuses. Oh, we need a lift to get up there, and we don't have a lift today, so we'll do it tomorrow. So it's, it would behoove us to find out who's responsible in all of these, because it must be that way throughout the whole township.
Not to interrupt you, but if this happened before with Flood Brothers, maybe they know who to call.
No, it wasn't Flood Brothers, it was, I can't remember the garbage company we had before this.
No, I mean
No,
now.
just now.
Oh, now? I don't know if they know. I don't know that they know they pulled the line down. The last time that happened, the garbage man waved to me and he said, "I'll report this." And I thought, you don't even know who my provider is. How can you report this, And so he just went on his merry way. And somebody came by and said, "Could I have that?" And I said, "Take it," because I have no use for it. So we've just lived with it for a little while. The new pole is only about 5 years old, I'd say, and I think Nader is very right that that is the electric pole. But I'll bet you the shorter pole that they cut off is the original pole, the one that was on fire.
Well, Nader, can you continue to look into this? And
Yes.
add to, it sounds like they're doing that also, is that right?
Yeah, we'll have the guys go out there this week and see if they can figure out who's it
Okay.
belongs to and correct it.
All right.
Okay, thanks so
Sorry.
much.
All three people have the same problem, right, ladies? No cable?
No cable, no
Cable
TV, Wi-Fi, or anything.
So,
Yeah, no phone.
yeah, my instincts would be to complain directly to them and tell them they have to fix it. That'll be your fastest bet, if they ask me. The cable company, because you're the
Ultimately,
customer.
yeah, it should be their responsibility. It's their.
Even if someone else did it, they're not gonna say, oh, someone else did it, they're gonna go out there and do it.
It should be. I remember.
If you want it fast.
Another time when it happened and we didn't have service for a long period of time. And my husband called in and they adjusted the bill for the month.
Oh, there you go.
And
Give you credit.
I did not call, and so they did not adjust the bill. So we'll see what happens.
Don't be afraid to call them. Money.
Yeah.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
Okay, okay, thanks very much. So we hope that this can get resolved soon. All right, Nader, you'll report to me about that motion. Great. All right, let's go on to our next item on our agenda, the old business. First thing listed is discussion and vote on the renewal of employee insurance benefits. Catherine, I just saw you walking
Yes,
here.
sorry.
And you have something to hand out to us?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So Catherine, of course, was here last month and gave us information about the employee health insurance renewal. The current plan is up July 1st. And so, Catherine, would you like to just give us, a quick recap
Sure.
of where we are with this?
Sure. When we originally received the Blue Cross renewal, we had a higher increase, but we were able to take the rate relief down to 4.65% instead of the 9.63, I believe, that was delivered. And that is with staying with the grandfathered plan for the PPO and the HMO, those are the current plans that we have in place right now. It looked like UHC, United Healthcare, and Humana might have had savings, but in fact, after underwriting, which how they underwrite is I give them the renewal, there was no savings after that. So it looks to be like the best decision would be to stay with the plans as they are right now, the grandfathered PPO and the HMO that we have in place. Principal for the dental, they did cut the rate increase that they originally gave us in half, and there was not a competitor carrier that came in better. So my recommendation would be to stay with Principal. As far as VSP, I asked them to give us a rate pass and also guarantee the rates on the vision, which is 100% employee pay for 4 years, and they did give us that 4-year guarantee and a rate pass, so there's no change to rates or plans on the vision.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Catherine regarding the renewal amounts or type of insurance, anything?
And last time I gave you a recap, but it was kind of hard to read, so we put this in better format for you. It goes back all the way to 2012. And the reason why I show you this is because I feel like it's important. I really do feel, and I mention this often, that Blue Cross Blue Shield has been very fair to your group. They want to keep you as a client. You know, there's been some really, really high claimant years where they've still been really generous, in my opinion, on what they've given for a renewal. So.
Any questions? Okay, all right. We have a motion to renew the employee health insurance benefit using the same type of insurance carrier and type of benefits as they've had for the past year. And this would be for the upcoming year, beginning July 1st, 2022, going to June 30th of 2023.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Any further comments, questions, anything? Okay. We have a roll call then?
Supervisor Brennan?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Now, Catherine, you are going to be presenting information to the employees directly next week, I believe.
That's correct. So we'll have an open enrollment like we normally do. We do that at 2 different times on one day so that we can have 2 different times for employees to be able to join whatever's convenient for them, for their schedules. And then we pass out the open enrollment information, and then they also can turn in their open enrollment form at that time for their elections for the following year, or they can, take a little bit more time, go home, talk to their families about that. So if anyone cannot be here, they will still get the information. If there's board members that cannot attend, you'll get the information. Ruba can forward that to you, as long as we get the open enrollment forms with the elections back in time, which we can take the whole month of June to do that. Normally, this group's pretty good about almost handing them all in the day I come. And so, the quicker that you get your form in, obviously, the sooner you're going to get cards, especially if you're a new person coming on the insurance or you're adding dependents or something like that.
Okay, so those informational meetings will be Wednesday at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
And 2, yeah,
Okay.
And
yes.
the ultimate deadline is, if anybody knows that? The
Well,
ultimate deadline-
open enrollment can be from the first, when we had the meetings, to the 30th. I mean, you can't have to June 30th to turn in your forms, but again, I don't recommend that if you're going to be a new person coming on, because, it takes time for them to get your cards to you. We can give you a temporary card
That's
right
all I
away.
want to know, well before June 30th. So right away, okay. Thanks.
And I'll be able to answer questions as well, so I go over all the plans that are offered, all the lines of coverage, and then I'm here to answer any questions or address anything that anybody might be experiencing.
Okay. Thank you, Catherine.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, appreciate your support, thank you.
Okay. All right, let's go to our next item, discussion of website improvement. So we've been talking about the website on and off. And at the last meeting, we came up with a wish list, and I want to thank, of course, Rich and Kelly worked on it a lot. And from that, we drew up a request for proposals. But by the time the RFP was posted and disseminated, it was already getting sort of late, so we decided to extend the deadline for vendors to get in proposals to shortly before our June meeting. So we expect that we will discuss at our June meeting the proposals that we got for a new website design. So that's that. Discussion of Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. And you want to say a few words about that? About the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District proposal, where we are with that?
Yeah, I mean, the project's moving along actually much faster than I anticipated. I think it's exciting, the possibilities of helping mitigate the flooding issues. There's still some drawings that I want my engineer to review before signing the final IGA, because there's a couple things we need to look at to make sure they're squared away from our end. But I'm excited about the project, so.
All right, thanks very much. All right, so we'll move on, and we'll probably discuss that next month. I think every month we get a little update from you. Thanks, Ed. All right, discussion and vote on the sale of the township vehicle. So you may recall, we talked about this last month, about the 2004 Chevrolet van and how it really hasn't gotten much use for some time. So this would enable me to sell that vehicle. My intent is not to sell it until after the summer camps are over, when we would use them probably to bring kids to some of the events. A couple of you were not here at the last meeting, and we did discuss selling it because it really doesn't get very much use, and it sits in the parking lot, and we pay insurance on it, but it doesn't run very much.
So what would happen next summer with summer camps?
Yeah, we probably just rent a
Rent a
van.
van, okay, that
And
would be
I think
cheaper.
it would be on a total of 6 days
Oh,
that we
okay.
would use a van for the kids. Rich, are you back there? I think we talked about that, just renting a van for a half a dozen days.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, all right. And Mike, I think you talked to us last month too about it, and problems if we were to sell that van?
I don't think so. I mean, it's just like I said, I mean, the occasional huge pickup or three vans. It's good with the summer camp, so beyond that, you know.
We still have the other van, we have the pickup truck. I suppose if need be, we could sometimes impose on the OEM for their vehicles. And do you want to give them the good news about the OEM?
Yeah, the Chevy Blazer that has sat in that garage for a very long time is actually up and running, and
Wow.
all it was basically was a battery, and they checked the brakes and everything else, and it looks good. So Frank is driving it around, and
Nice.
and it's operating. So all is well on that.
Thank you. All right, could I have a motion then to sell or dispose of the surplus?
Excuse me, I have a question. How much we paying in insurance on this?
Pardon?
How much
do
we
you
paying? Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know. I don't know how much we're paying.
The other question I had is, doesn't say, is it a passenger? I think Mike answered this. A passenger or commercial?
Passenger.
Because I think there's two different types of that vehicle.
Right. Yeah, it's a passenger. I use the Ford van as commercial.
Okay, passenger stuff. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Could I have a motion to sell or dispose of the surplus vehicle and equipment? And you see on Exhibit A, it lists this vehicle.
Okay. Motion to either dispose or sell of the Maine Township vehicle listed in Exhibit A.
Second, okay. Any further discussion or questions?
Just when would the auction take place? It says,
Yeah, the summer
Exhibit A.
camp will be over when, Rich?
when does that happen?
We'll need it through the end of July.
Okay. Sometime after July. Sometime after July.
So, and Rich is the guy who knows about that.
Yeah, right. Now, I did talk, Marie and I talked about it too, this vehicle for a little bit, to see if maybe seniors would want to use it. But I think the thought was it would not be real comfortable for seniors to get in and out of this van. And they wouldn't really want to use it for bringing seniors in.
Kind of a high step up into it.
It's a high step, and to have somebody climb all the way to the back bench is very difficult. I've done it in the past in that van, and it wouldn't be good for seniors.
Okay, all right. Can I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Okay, moving to the next item, discussion and vote on amendment to the M3 marketing contract. We talked about this last month too, but we didn't actually have it on the agenda for a vote. The document that you have in front of you is listed in amended public relations and marketing agreement. So if you see that document, you will see there are, highlighted in blue, a couple of very small changes. One is to change the minimum number of social media posts from 6 to 8, so that's going up, but to change the number of blog posts from 3 to 2. So it's just changing the number of the types of communications with our residents by a couple of small changes. So do I have a motion to adopt this amended public relations agreement? And let me say, Marty is here tonight, and I'm presuming that you and Robert are on board with this change. I mean, you proposed this change, so
Yes,
I presume you're in agreement with
We're
it.
very on board, yes.
Okay, all right. So we have a motion to adopt this amended agreement with M3.
I'll make a motion to adopt this, the amended public relations and marketing agreement with M3.
Second.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, all right, and roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, let's go to new business. So the next three things under new business are discussion and votes on policies. And as I communicated to you, the policies were all recommended that by our new auditors. They recommended that we adopt these policies. The fund balance, well, let me start with the outstanding check policy, because that's the easiest one I think to explain. State law actually requires us to take the actions mentioned in the outstanding check policy. When someone does not cash one of our checks, like a vendor, or maybe one of the mainstreamers who got a refund, and for whatever reason didn't cash their check. After about 6 months, we're supposed to send them a reminder, you have outstanding amount, but let's say that person can't be found, and we just have this uncashed check. We can hang on to it for 3 years, but eventually after 3 years, we have to give the money over to the state. It'd be nice if we could just keep it, but the state law says we have it belongs to the state. We have to turn it over to the treasurer. I don't think this happens very often, where we have uncashed checks. I don't know. Maybe Vicki, you can tell me, or.
There are a few at like the end of the fiscal year. There's a few. There's like a handful at most.
Okay.
And that's done usually like as part of the audit. They go through and it's like whatever left over from making reconciliations will be a part of that. So not a lot, but
a few. Okay. So ultimately, after 3 years go by, we would have to turn over that money from whatever uncashed check we had to the state of Illinois. Another policy that I just want to explain ahead of time before we get into a further discussion is the capital asset policy. This again was recommended by Lauterbach and Almond, and it is something that is, I think it's something that's really recommended by the Government Accounting Standards Board, Statement 34 they call it, and what it does is it says that we will expense certain items and we will capitalize certain other items. And basically, for small expenses, or small amounts, we will list those as expenses and deduct them from our balance sheet at the end of the year. But for larger items, larger assets like automobiles and other items that will last sometimes, we will capitalize them and depreciate them over the life of those assets, however long they're expected to last. And so this policy sets forth what type of assets are going to be capitalized and in what manner they're going to be capitalized. So the policy that I drafted, I took it from the Township of Illinois sample policy and took a look at it, and I might want to look at some further, but anyway, I sent it to Ed, I sent it to Kurt, I sent it to Chris, our bookkeeper, all to take a look at it. And I think everyone was fine with that. So we can discuss it further, but that's the nature of that capitalization policy. And then the fund balance policy, the third one that was recommended by Lauterbach and Almond, reiterates in part what state law is, and that is that we are not supposed to accumulate fund balances that are greater than 2.5 times the annual average expenditures of the previous 3 fiscal years. Lauterbach and Almond recommended that we also set a floor, saying that we should not fall below a certain level too. It doesn't say, and my goal was to make sure that this is our goal. We're going to try to not let our balances fall below a certain level, but of course sometimes we just don't have control over that. For instance, this year where our tax receipts are going to be much later than they normally are, the bills themselves aren't even going out till December, so we probably won't even get the money until, well, sometime in 2023. The goal, the idea is here is we're trying to set sort of a policy as to what will we try to keep our fund balances at in terms of how they relate to our annual expenditures. In this one, there is no real right or wrong answer as to what level we set it at. Obviously, it has to be lower than 2.5% because that's the maximum, but I suppose it could be 2.5% if we kept it exactly that amount. But in any event, that is the one policy that really, I think, needs some discussion. So, having said that, let's turn to the first one that's on our agenda, which is the fund balance policy. And I just want to open this up for discussion.
What does that look like, Karen? in the
It is on your, it was at your place, the fund balance policy.
Where it is, okay, thanks.
Kurt, did you have anything to say about any of these policies that,
No, they're all very straightforward, pretty standard. I think I had some minor changes to the uncashed check policy just to bring them in line with some new amendments to that unclaimed property. But the fund balance policy, that's obviously in line with state law on how much we can accumulate. The capitalization policy is really more of an issue that we have to comply with.
okay, all right. Hey, perhaps, I don't know if you can tell me this or not, if you know other townships have a fund balance policy, minimum and maximums. Obviously, everyone's governed by the maximum state law, but
I can't say I know the exact amounts off the top of my head. I think it's sometimes whatever your auditor recommends, just so that you do have something basically in reserve in case there is, an issue with getting a tax levy or something like that, so that we do have some the funds available if there is some catastrophe. We don't have that.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments about this?
Yeah, to clarify, when you were first speaking, Karen, you mentioned when it goes to the state of Illinois, that's unclaimed property to protect the rights of the person that the check is payable to. Is that right?
Well, I guess it's twofold. First, it's to protect the rights of that person. That we have to give them a notice. After a certain number of months, we have to tell them, oh, you've got a check that was written to you, you haven't cashed it.
Okay.
But then eventually, after 3 years go by, the state says, send us the money.
Sheets to the state.
Yeah, it does help to the state, that's right.
Sheets to the state, okay. That wasn't clear for me, okay.
Yeah.
I see. So the person who's named on the check has her rights on completely cut off and we give it right back to the state.
No.
They have a little time to try to
send a notice. Right.
find their asset. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Thanks. That's the question. Okay.
Well, let's see if we can get one of these policies on the table, discuss it further, or, set it over for the next meeting if we want to do that. So, and I'm just going to throw out a suggestion that we should say our funds should not fall less than 2 times the average annual expenditure of the previous 3 years.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Okay, all right. Would you like to make a motion that we adopt the fund balance policy and that the second paragraph should read that the funds should not fall less than 2 times the annual average expenditure of the previous 3 fiscal years?
Okay, motion to pass the fund balance policy with the fund balance not falling less than 2 times the annual average expenditure of the previous 3 fiscal years.
Okay, is there a second to that? Okay, so we have a motion on the table now, and, if there's any other questions, comments, thoughts about this, one way or the other?
I think it's conservative.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, Esther.
About this balance, which you said 2 times. So let's say we need something in emergency money, so how are we going to handle that?
I'm sorry, if something, what if happens?
I say, let's say something emergency, let's say the flood is there or
Oh, yeah.
anything, we need the money, so how are we going to take out that money when we keep it 2% of the?
Right, and I don't think we have to keep it 2%. Our goal is it should stay at 2%, but obviously things happen. And right now our fund balances are low.
And this is a state, and this is a state requirement that we should have a minimum balance or not?
That was their auditor's requirement, or not requirement, it was actually couched in terms of a suggestion. I think that's how it is.
I think we shouldn't be on that, this 2 times. We shouldn't be have this balance, limited cap on that, We shouldn't have a cap on the balance, We can have the maximum, but we can have it, that may be the cap, but not on the minimum should we have a cap on that money.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I think it is couched in terms of should, not absolutely must.
Yeah, okay.
Have a minimum.
But that would just mean that you don't want to go below that number.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like a safety valve. Right?
Right. We have that little line absent with a number right here. That's going to be 2 times, right? The number 2 is going to be put in there before you
Right,
sign
the
off.
motion is currently couched, yes.
Thank you, 2. So that's the proposal.
Yes.
Should not fall less than 2 times the, okay.
I'm turning the other way. And do you have any thoughts or concerns about this?
Yeah, I don't feel that it's necessary to have a minimum, because especially in road and bridge, if there's an emergency, I know you're saying it should, as opposed to we need to, but I don't feel like there should be a minimum, because if, let's say there's a huge sinkhole or something that happens that we have to spend a lot of money, then we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot by going below what we set as a minimum. So I don't feel like we should set a minimum. But if the board feels that they want to pass it, you know, the highway department could always do a separate one with no minimum. But the 2.5%, obviously that's state statute. I'm completely fine with that. We have to be fine with that, so.
Yeah.
But
So,
the
I mean,
minimum might.
Yeah, and if we're going to comply, I mean, I don't know that we need a policy if we're not going to set a minimum, because we know there's a state statute, so I don't know if there's any point in adopting a policy if we're not going to do a minimum. We might want to just skip it altogether.
That was my only concern about all of these policies. I read through them. All the other ones look fine to me, but the fund balance, I don't feel like we should have a minimum there. That's just my.
Okay, all right, well, it sounds like in any event, we would not pass it as applicable to the highway department. Okay,
Yes.
so I understand your position. So I think what we would do is, if we passed it at all, it would just apply to the town fund as opposed to the highway fund. Because of that concern that he's expressed is not wanting it to apply to the highway. So we can, again, we can pass it, we can table it, we can
Modify the number.
modify the number.
If we wanted to do that.
Yeah, and I think, Kim, you have a question.
I mean, since it's not, we're not obliged to it in any way, what would be the downside of having a minimum? I mean, it's not like if we go under it, there's any penalty or anything. It's just sort of like a
Guideline.
guideline. Yeah, it's just something that's there that you just keep like in mind. But if we do go below it, there won't be any problem if we go below it. I mean, I guess we don't have it, so if we don't need to have it, but.
Well, it says should not fall.
There's no problem if we do go below it, so.
We shouldn't let it fall, so the word should not fall, I mean, don't let it fall,
Should not.
right? I mean, that's how I read those
Yeah,
words.
so it doesn't say must not fall, but should not fall.
Yeah.
So, but you know, if you have concerns about the wording, you could suggest changes to the wording too.
Sure.
So what was the reason that he suggested it?
You know, I think that what it does is it's sort of a way of setting forth what the local government body's goal is in terms of maintaining their fiscal integrity. You know, they're saying, yes, we realize we can't go below a certain point, but we also, in terms of maintaining our fiscal integrity, intend to keep a balance of about this amount, of no less than this amount. So I think that was it. Now, I will say that our auditors, I think, are supposed to be at our next meeting in June. And so we can ask them that then if you want to table it for now. I mean, that's a possibility.
Can we ask our lawyer to weigh in on it too, or is he not?
I think he did.
So,
Go ahead.
yeah, this is more of an auditing issue. There's no state law minimum balance that we have to acquire. State law just puts us at that cap. So this is more of a fiscal policy decision that's really down to the legal realm. It's up to the board and your auditors what the board feels is best to maintain in that reserve or your fund there so that you're able to deal with any contingencies.
Okay, thanks.
So, okay, I think we have a motion in a second. So the next thing we would need to do, unless there's further questions, is vote on it unless someone wants to make a motion to table.
I'd like to hear maybe more a little bit. My instincts are to hear more Betty and some other people maybe, so we can table it maybe for now, especially since you mentioned Karen that on the next meeting. The people are going to be here.
That's my understanding. I think
It's my understanding as well.
he's going to come here to present the audit itself, which should be done by next month. And we can discuss this policy, which was recommended at that time, if you wish. So there's a motion to table. Is there a second to a motion to table?
Second?
Okay, so that takes precedence, I understand. And I need a roll call on the motion to table. There's no discussion on it, just a roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes to a motion to table.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Then let's go to the next one. Discussion and vote on the capital asset policy. All right, so I talked a little bit about this, and you have it in front of you at your place. Does anyone have any general concerns or questions about this policy? All right, well, could I have a motion to adopt this capitalization policy for Maine Township and for the Township Road and Bridge District? So this also has your name on it, Ed, so you will need to weigh in also, okay?
Okay. Do you have any questions about it, since it affects your department?
No?
Okay.
I'm sorry, did I get a motion?
No.
Okay.
You have to make a motion.
I'm not going to make this motion.
Oh.
I'll second it maybe, but
Oh,
but I've looked at it and I don't really have serious problems
okay.
with
What was it?
it. I've looked at it for only 5 minutes, so that's why I don't.
It's just to put it on the table for discussion.
I'll make
Okay.
a motion to discuss and possibly vote on the adopting the
Second.
capitalization policy.
Let's put that one on second.
So, all right, so we have a motion and a second. Eva, did you get that?
Okay.
Oh,
I did second.
Trustee Corbett and?
Yes.
okay, great. Okay, all right. So this one, as I mentioned, Chris looked at it, our bookkeeper also, he didn't have any problem with it. Kurt looked at it too.
This is not a legal issue, this is a
Okay,
accounting.
okay, all right. This is the one, it's a sample from the Township Officials of Illinois website. So I think it's pretty basic as a capitalization policy, but does anyone have any further questions or comments? All right. And Ed, you don't have any further questions or comments, do you? Okay, all right. Okay, then we have a roll call, please?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Okay, that one passes, thank you. And I'm going to pass it this way, and then I need it back to give to Ed, okay? All right. Okay, let's turn to the outstanding check policy, the Maine Township and the Road and Bridge District. So this one I also gave a general discussion on. Ed, do you have any thoughts on this policy?
No.
I mean, is it okay with you?
It's fine by me, yeah.
Okay, all right. May I have a motion to adopt the outstanding check policy for Maine Township and the Road and Bridge District?
Motion to adopt the outstanding check policy for Maine Township and Maine Township Road and Bridge District.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments about this? All right, I'll have a roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, next on our agenda is discussion and vote on an amendment to ordinance 2016-1 regarding the solid waste and recycling franchise. Actually, Mayor brought this to my attention. Mayor and Mike brought to my attention that the ordinance on the books referred to paying your bills to Republic, but we don't have a contract with Republic anymore. We have Flood Brothers now. So the first thing you see at your place is the current policy. It says current policy up at the top of it. And then the next one is the proposed amendment 2022-2. So again, we just need to clean up our ordinance to make sure it no longer refers to the public. So could I have a motion to adopt Maine Township Ordinance 2022-2?
I have something that says Maine Township Ordinance number 2016-1, is that the one that I want?
That is the current, well, it's the current one, so
Where's it?
that is the current one, which is in existence right now, just for your reference, just so you can look at that. And then the one that says 2022-2 is the one that we propose adopting.
Right.
So I'm sorry, could I have a motion to adopt Maine Township Ordinance 2022-2?
Motion to adopt Maine Township Ordinance number 2022-2.
Is there a second?
Second.
Right. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, may I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, now we go on to reports. So the first thing we need to deal with are upcoming parades, which is a relatively pleasant thing to deal with. So I have information here from several communities who invited us to be in their parade. So I'm going to mention them all to you and then we can talk about them. One is the Park Ridge, American Legion and City of Chicago has invited us to be in the Park Ridge Memorial Day Parade, 10 a.m. Monday, May 30th. And oddly enough, they don't ask us if we want to be in it, they just assign us a number. So I guess they assume we're going to show up. I don't know. The next one is the Niles Parade, July 4th, 8:45 a.m., leaving from Notre Dame High School. They did ask us to sign up, and I mentioned this at our last board meeting, but I didn't really get many responses. Technically, we are past the deadline, but I'm hoping they would still allow us to join the parade if we wanted to. The third one is from Des Plaines. They have a 4th of July parade too. And Ed, I saw that you signed up the highway department for the Des Plaines one. I saw you filled out the form for that.
Yeah,
For
Niles.
Des Plaines. Oh, you did Niles too? Okay, good. So the rest of us haven't actually signed up, but maybe we can just sort of tail behind the highway department for the 4th of July. What about Memorial Day? Are you going to go to Memorial Day one or not? I mean, the highway department?
We're not gonna go. I have a cemetery decorating thing that I have to do for Memorial Day, so I'm not gonna be available for that, but.
All right. And is anyone else from the highway department going any of your?
Not that, just for the 4th.
Okay, just for the 4th. Okay. All right, fine. So, I suppose we could, without the highway department, have an OEM vehicle in Memorial Day Parade. I think Frank is available. I did say I would let him know one way or the other, you know, like tomorrow or the next day if we needed him, because it's coming up very early. So I want to ask the other board members, does anyone want to march in the Memorial Day Parade in Park Ridge?
I'll be out of town.
Okay?
So when are the day of the week, Karen? Is it May?
Monday.
Monday.
Monday, 10 a.m.
Yeah.
I would if somebody wanted to do it, but I don't have to.
Yeah. I know I can because I got this notice after I invited 14 people to my house. So I can
Invite them all to go.
Yeah, they can march with us.
Oh, I love that. They love that.
Township shirts for everyone.
Yeah. Most of them are 6 years old. So anyway, but I just need to know if you want to march, which is fine and great, and we could be here, we had a presence, but I need to let Frank know if he is going to be needed to drive the OEM vehicle in the parade.
My issue is Monday, May 30th, I don't know if I have to be in court somewhere that day at 10 a.m. So, and I know.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day?
Oh, it is, that's the actual holiday?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm flexible on it. But
Okay.
the answer is maybe.
You know what, Karen, too, let me ask a couple of the guys to see if we can get a truck at least over there representing, you know what I mean? I'll see if a couple of them are available.
All right, just let me know, because it's only fair to Frank to tell him he's.
Yeah, I'll let you know by tomorrow.
Driver that, thanks very much. So,
I guess let's see if I say we can share the duties on Monday and May 30th.
Monday you can go to.
In Park Ridge, if that's okay.
oh, sure.
We can be one of us.
Oh, one of the two of you will be there, is that
Kurt,
okay?
I guess.
Yeah, I will be there with
So Asa, sounds like you'll be there. Am I hearing that? Okay. And Kim?
Yeah, I can be there.
All right. You guys might want to mark this down. Your township position is 16 and 17.
Okay.
They bumped us up, we always used to be like 30.
Wow. Maybe I'll go like that.
That might be.
And May 30th is Memorial Day, thank you.
So they ask us to only have 2 vehicles. I don't think that'll be a problem. 10 a.m. I think if you don't know where it starts, it's at Cumberland and Talcott. Cumberland and Talcott.
Are they doing like a no candy policy this year?
You know, they didn't say anything in this one. They didn't say anything. 9:30 a.m. So 9:30 a.m.
30th, May 30th. Okay.
Right.
Is he bringing one of the emergency management vehicles?
Well, that's just it. I was going to see if anything is going. And I guess it sounds like they are, so I will ask Frank to be there.
Okay.
Maybe the bread truck. All right, so now I have to fill out this form for Niles. So Ed, it sounds like you and your crew are going to be there for both the Niles and the Des Plaines one on the 4th. Is that right?
That's right.
And historically, I guess we've gone to Niles and then went over to Des Plaines and done that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about July 4th?
One of the displays one,
Okay.
since we did the Niles last week.
Okay, I mean, I think it sort of sounds like we can do both. It's like
Yeah.
running from one to another.
Oh, really?
It's a lot of marching.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll
Okay.
definitely do the displays one.
Okay.
This is in April.
So, all right, so I will tell Niles and Des Plaines we'll be there.
I don't know about displays, but I did Niles last year, so that was fun.
All right, July 4th.
I don't
Now,
want to commit to all 3.
all right,
We have some freeze on it too.
4th of July, there's 2.
2 separate parades.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't want to commit to both of them. Personally,
right.
I got some other things to do.
Oh, no, I thought when you said you didn't want to commit to all 3, that you meant, you thought there were 3 that day. That's
No, I just meant, I don't want to go to all 3.
Yeah.
Locked in, all 3.
all right. Now, Des Plaines says nothing's to be thrown to parade watchers.
Displays said that?
They did. I don't know if that means you can hand them stuff.
You could hand them stuff, you just can't.
Oh,
shove
it says,
there.
oh, anything distributed to parade watchers is to be done by hand at the curbside only.
Yeah.
No, they did that before, they don't want you
Yeah.
throwing it.
Well, yeah, we've done that.
Does Niles know that?
I don't know.
What they say and what
Fire
happens
is-
are 2 different things.
Yeah, well, just I marched in the parade for 7
a
years.
free-for-all.
In the library. We always were chucking things.
Yeah, there was a free-for-all.
Yeah.
Last time we.
That Christmas Day, Niles.
Same
It was
thing,
fun.
walked over and did it to the kids.
Okay, all right, that's parades. And then we need to talk about some upcoming events. Just to interject here, we'll get to summer festivals in a minute, but you have at your place a number of flyers that Alicia made up, so.
They all look fabulous, by
Yeah.
the way.
Richard made one of these, right?
They all look great.
And this is using Canva, right? Is that what it's saying?
Thanks, Kelly. Yeah.
Thank you for your instruction on that. So Secretary of State, June 15th, stop by. Wellness Fair is the 16th. Rich can tell you more about that. Do you want to say a few words about that? Or not?
Up to you, again.
Yeah, just wanted to tell us a little bit about it.
All right, sure. On June 16th, which is a Thursday, from 6 to 9 p.m., we'll be hosting a community wellness fair. It's a free event. We're partnering with Mental Health America of the northern suburbs. They obtained a grant for about $3,000 that is covering the entire cost of the event, so there's no cost for either of our organizations. It'll feature a free yoga, a free art therapy, and a free movement and dance therapy workshop, in addition to a panel discussion about mental health.
Okay, thank you very much. So you are asking people to register for that, right?
Yes, they can go to our homepage and register on there. We have a form available.
All right, thank you. All right, next and coming up is the North Suburban Legal Aid Clinic. I do encourage you to sign up for this yourself or encourage other people to sign up for it. I think it's going to be very interesting. It's just a short little program about the legal services they will provide for free to residents who qualify. Last time we had to postpone it because we didn't get people signing up for it, but I just really think we need to encourage people to learn about this because I think they can be helpful to many of our residents. And so Austin, talk to your clients about it. I really think they could probably have benefit.
Sure.
Yeah, someone say something?
I just said sure.
Oh, sure, okay, that's always fine. Then dumpster days, okay, this is a continuation of our effort to let our residents get rid of stuff they don't want. So we had the paper shredding event, we had the electronics, getting rid of electronics event, and this is for larger furniture and things like that. So one more opportunity for our residents to clean out their homes. Cyber crimes program. This, Marie has organized this along with the Sheriff of Cook County, right, Marie?
Yes.
Right, and that's July 7th. National Night Out is, well, you know what? That is going to be on August 2nd. Why don't you talk about that? That is really looking great.
Yeah, it's firming up nicely. We had our second committee meeting last night that several of you attended, and we host that along with the Gulf Maine Park District, and they're really kind of stepping up big for us this year. They're going to handle all the games, which is something we always kind of did and ran in the past, so that's a big chunk of what we needed to plan off our plate. But we also coordinate with the Cook County Sheriff's Police. A lot of their vehicles will be there. North Maine Fire Department will be bringing their vehicles. We get about usually 500 to 600 local residents that come. It's looking like it's going to be a great event. So if anybody would like to, oh yeah, we've got entertainment. We've got the JG's Reptile Show booked that will be coming to do a 45-minute reptile presentation. We'll have face painters, balloon artists. We're working on some other entertainment as well. And if anybody would like to come to our next planning meeting, it will be June 27th, I believe, whatever that Monday is. And then all the local kids from the different summer camps do posters along with our theme, which is turn your lights on and turn crime off. So that poster judging will be July 18th over at Deep Park, and then the actual event is on August 2nd, also at Deep Park.
Okay, thank you. I just was amazed how everyone there at the meeting last night was just offering to do anything.
Yeah.
They were just really...
They're a good group, and some of them have been, like Louise has been there from the very first one, going back like 28 years at this point, so they're dedicated.
Yeah, really. Okay, all right. Well, that sounds really good. Then on August 9th, we have the Cook County Self-Defense class. Again, Marie, I think you're working on that too, along with the sheriff. That's terrific. And then you got a couple of flyers in here. Again, Marisha did these for the food pantry. And one is new, our summer weekend go bag for kids program. And this is going to start first June weekend, I think, June 10th. I better check. It's either the first or second week in June that we're going to be bringing over bags of food, little bags of food for the kids over at the Family Resource Center on Fridays. They can bring home at the weekend because they get breakfast, they get lunch during the week, but some of the low-income kids go home over the weekend and they don't really, nobody's feeding them breakfast or lunch unless their families have enough to supply them with those meals there. So they don't, sometimes weekends can be a little low on food for some of those families. So we're looking for stuff they can easily take with them. Some of these kids are homeless, so we're trying to get stuff that they can, easily eat, even though they might not have access to a stove. So that's what we're going to work on. All right. Speaking of food for the food pantry, our garden is now in. So if it's still light out, I think it will be when we leave. If you look over the southeast corner, you'll be able to see that the garden is in. And hopefully that will generate some food for our food pantry. And Kelly and I and Nader and Mike went shopping yesterday and bought all the supplies, so that was great fun. To buy all the plants. So.
What kind of vegetables are we growing?
Well, why don't you go out there and look?
Okay.
That's got it. You do really have quite a variety, actually.
Hope it's not too dark, I'll check it out.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll remove some soon.
Thank you.
The next big thing we have to talk about is summer festivals in August. Now, Asif, I'd like you to talk about that. So if you can direct your attention to Asif about this.
Okay, Asif, pay attention.
Before I talk about the summer festival,
Asif speaking now.
Oh, sorry.
I hardly talk about okay, so before I talk about the summer festival, I have a suggestion about this Secretary of State mobile event, because it will be more helpful, if we add the services, what kind of services they're going to provide on these events, like they can look up the driver license is suspended.
Oh, you know what? I have a whole page from them. I can add it to that.
Oh, yeah, that's
It
what.
was supposed to be there, that was what I was saying.
Yeah, what kind of stuff they can renew their license and, they can look up their license. Yeah.
Services to this.
Yeah, the services that we provide that day, I have a sheet to go on back with that.
Oh, you
Just
have
everything,
that.
pretty much everything but the real ID, they can provide.
Okay.
Okay.
Some of the best information they want though is what's the problem with their license. And that probably needs to be covered.
What the problem is?
Yeah, right.
Why it's suspended?
Yeah, I have that problem a lot. That's probably not common.
Some people maybe not with their license suspended because of the, parking complaints, outstanding traffic tickets.
All right, but Asif, you need to talk to us about the
Yes, I'm
events.
going next there,
Okay.
So I think that 2 months ago we decided, I announced the date for the Indian Culture Festival in August 13. And Pakistan, August 13 is a Saturday, and August 14 will be Pakistan Culture Day. So because last year we have different dates, so this time we keep it on Saturday and Sunday, and we can save cost on the stage and the chair and the sound system, because we give a contract to the same person, so he can give us a discount on the sound system and the stage,
Now, I know that this year, last year, Mainstreamers did a lot of work towards organizing. Because this year they have their own slate of activities. They didn't last year, but they really have a lot of activities this year. So this year cannot be primarily the Mainstreamers' responsibility. It has to be spread among all the departments to do this. So do not ask Marie to do everything. Because
I think we can make it.
She cannot.
No.
I think we can involve the board and we can make a committee for the board's events. And then we can, even the stage, we don't need to, our staff has to do anything. They have their own people to do the stage. Same thing, the chairs, we can hire somebody who can, arrange the chairs,
Hire
So all the physical work will be done by the labor, we can hire those labor,
So do you propose to hire people to move the chair?
Yeah, we can do it, move the chairs, everything we can do,
All right, because, this is 2 days on a weekend. You're proposing the 13th and 14th of August.
Yeah.
And so my concern is that many of our staff, they may be on vacation or out of town with their kids, or, they might be able to volunteer to work one day, but most likely not both days on the same weekend. So we will send around a sheet asking who is interested in volunteering on Saturday and or Sunday. But then, we can't compel our staff to work on Saturdays and Sundays. So you may need to hire people to perform some of these other services. And as last year, this should be a break-even event. I know you were very good about getting donors last year, and you told me that you think people are willing to do it again this year, so that's great.
Of course, they're going to do it.
Better than break-even, right?
We have better than
Better than break-even.
Yes. So we're going to have a Pakistani and Indian, volunteer to run their events. And, the Pakistani Indian businessmen, they will support this event. They always do it. Last year they did it too. So I don't think so it will be any going to be a problem for this both events, And the last year we have a going plus, I was not active on the budget, so.
I'm sorry, what last year?
I say last year I have over, surplus, I have still money. Yeah.
Surplus.
No break-even, surplus.
I do remember that for the moment.
I think it was pretty close. It was pretty close.
It's 2000 extra, I don't remember.
Okay.
My memory is very good on the money,
All right. Let me open it up to any other board members or other elected officials or questions they might have.
Oh, about this topic or about anything?
Well, about this topic for now.
Oh, this topic, okay. I guess you can't count on Mike and his worker and Nick to do all the chairs, but we were all helping, I remember that, so, with respect to the 2 nights.
I think that really would be expecting too much for our staff.
But I was willing to do it, we were out there until, remember that? We were out there, and Mike's work all was great, but I agree, we should get some help with, because there was a lot of chairs that we had to fold up, but it's hot, even that night, so. But I just mentioned I would be willing to help, because I'll be there anyway.
All right, and I've already told Asa that weekend, I mentioned this months ago, I'm actually out of town. Okay. So, and I mentioned this because maybe I can come back for one of the days, but I definitely won't be able to be here for both days. So that is something I mentioned months ago. So, all right. Now, I'm actually going to give the staff who are here an opportunity, if they have any questions about this, if they want to ask anything at this time.
Is it still at this location, or is it going to be at D Park?
No, it's going to be at this location.
Okay.
Is there
that was your question? That was my question.
Okay, just right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from those people who happen to be sitting here now? Okay. All right. All right. Let's move on. Other matters that any board members would like to bring up.
I just want to mention that our next meeting on June 28th is actually election day. I know I typically work as a polling place technician and an election judge, so I don't know if I'm going to be here because I will be helping people vote. I don't know if everybody hopefully will be able to get out and vote on that day. So, are we
Yes, a little different because we're not used to having primaries and.
Right.
It's really yes.
Are we going to be a polling place?
I don't think so. Has this been a polling place before?
It has been tested, not recently. They haven't
Okay.
used us yet.
Okay. All right. So, if everyone else is sure they're going to be here, we'll have a quorum. But another alternative is we could move this meeting to Wednesday night instead of Tuesday night. If you'll check your calendars to see if that Wednesday is available, and if there's a motion to move the meeting to Wednesday.
And if it's just me missing it, then I don't want to inconvenience everybody just for me.
Well, let's see.
Either one's fine for me. We just can't do it that Monday because that's our national night out.
We do a Wednesday.
So, Jim, did that work for you?
I'm not sure what we're talking about. Talking about another meeting?
We're not an additional meeting. We're talking about moving.
Which meeting?
June meeting.
June 28th.
Oh, the board meeting?
Yes.
To
Tuesday to Wednesday.
the 29th. Now, hopefully our auditor will be able to come on the 29th, because we told them the 28th, but hopefully he'll be able to come on the 29th.
I don't think that'll be a problem for me, but I have to look at my calendar, which I don't have, because I didn't
Well,
expect
we
it.
can do it by Zoom if you can.
Yeah, or, I mean, do you
Yeah,
want
that's
to?
fine. I have no problem with that. That's fine.
Because I would hate for him to not be able to make. Why don't we just keep it on Tuesday and I will just.
But the Zoom is okay, that's a good idea too. I can't, for some reason.
Show by Zoom.
Yeah,
You
that's
can call
fine.
in.
So I'm not really objecting to that.
I can call in from the polling place.
Democracy in action.
A live stream.
Not a good idea.
No.
The problem is at 7 o'clock, that's like when you're busy.
No, I know. That's
when
closing
you're
everything
closing.
down, yes.
And I need the electronic technician more than ever to figure out how to.
And they're in desperate need of election judges, so if
Yeah.
anybody else wants to do it, they're desperate.
Kurt tells me we can just come to a consensus if that's something we want to do. What do you think, Jim?
Sure, that's okay with me.
Awesome.
Yes.
Make that Wednesday instead of Tuesday.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right.
Just so I know, what is the
Is
date?
that okay for
Karen, June 20.
29th?
Thanks.
Vicki, do you anticipate any staff problems? I realize some people might not be able to make it because they have other things on Wednesday night, but not every single staff member's here anyway. All right, so I think we're going to move it to Wednesday, the 29th.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Eva, you will take care of posting that notice. What do we have to do? We have to notify the newspaper?
That's only if we're going to change our regular meeting date for all of our meetings. If we're just going to reschedule one meeting, we just post a notice stating that it's canceled, then we'll post an agenda showing it as a special meeting moved to the next step.
But isn't it true we can only discuss certain things at a special meeting?
Yes, so we just want to have the agenda be as broad as possible. If there's certain things that we'd like to have that be limited to.
The daily news went out, like the proof, everything was approved, the daily news has the other date, that's just going out. So that's just one thing to keep in mind, it has the 28th.
You don't have to publish notice for just one.
Just, we have observations, like normal notice for the hours.
Wait,
Like normal notice, like we do with the normal like meeting agenda or something we sending. So we just will send the rescheduling notice to the newspaper. 48 hours.
Well, let's do it as soon as possible. So in the event that anybody actually wants to come to our meeting, they'll know ahead of time. Okay?
Yes.
Don't wait till just 48 hours. Okay. All right.
Usually I do everything like Fridays and.
Okay. All right. So it looks like we're going to go with Wednesday. Okay? 7 p.m. Right? Okay. Okay. All right. Jim, did you have something you were going to say something about something else?
No, I was just going to add, I had a chance to go to another program administered by Rich. It's called Mentoring. And it's sponsored through Big Sisters and Big Brothers United Way. And I asked the people there what if they wanted me to say anything at the board meeting. And the message they said is, please spread the word. I guess it would be adults, probably over the age of 18, that would be interested in mentoring a younger person, boy or girl, a big brother or big sister. And I think it's a pretty big commitment. It's my understanding you have to be in that person's life until they're probably 18 themselves. And so it's probably kind of a big commitment, but it looked like it was pretty rewarding. The men and women I met there, the men actually I met there that night, looked like they enjoyed a lot mentoring these young kids. We were at the golf range, right, Rich? And they were blasting away at the golf balls and they took up for pizza. It was a nice session. So that's the message. If you know people who might be interested, I'm thinking maybe college kids, but I don't know if that's a little bit, extreme for them, or young adults probably be better candidates to mentor a younger person. But it looks like a very good program. I found it very interesting. Anyway, spread the word if you can. If you know anybody who might be interested in that.
Okay, all right. Thank you. One small matter. I got a letter from Illinois Tollway. Apparently they have an Elgin O'Hare Western Access Local Advisory Committee. And we have not designated anyone to be on that committee. Does anyone want to be on the Elgin O'Hare Western Access Local Advisory Committee?
What is it required?
I have no idea. The alternate is vacant too. You want to be the alternate?
Sure.
Okay. Anybody else want to get it?
I don't know, might be interesting. I knew a lawyer who used to do hearings for the tollway. And it's quite a good opportunity. Long time ago, he's still doing. But hearings, you know, for people who are toll violators.
Jim as well?
So anyway,
Jim, are you volunteering?
I don't know how much time is it necessary for me for
I have
that.
no idea.
But I'll be willing to look into it though, because I think the tollway's interesting.
All right, well, let me know by the end of the week if you want to, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, I think that is it.
I have one more.
Oh, yes? Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell everybody about an event that is coming up. It is on Saturday, June 4th, from 3 to 7 p.m. at Maine West High School. It is called Community Pride Celebration. It is organized by the Maine West, their LGBTQ student group, as well as a group called Speak Displays. And they're going to have a bunch of different exhibitors there with tables. They're going to have the Displays History Center, the Center of Concern, and actually Mainstay is going to be there with their new Pride program that they have that's all about supporting LGBTQ youth in Maine Township. So they will also be there. It's a family-friendly event. There's going to be all sorts of things. There's going to be live entertainment, food, crafts, games, and more. So I'll be there, and everybody should try to come by if they can and say hi. So.
Okay, thank you very much. And Rich, will you or someone from your staff be there?
Two staff members, Ariel, our assistant director, and Emily, our youth program coordinator, will be there representing Mainstay.
Okay, great, great.
I have
Oh, yes, yes,
brief
go ahead.
announcement. We have on our calendar that next Wednesday is the neighborhood watch meeting, but we're going to cancel that and resume our meeting in July because I have a conflict, so. There will not be a neighborhood watch meeting in June.
Okay, all right, thank you. Anything else? Anything from the election officials?
Happy Memorial Day.
Yeah, happy Memorial Day.
Yes,
Thank
sure.
you. All right, we have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Give me a roll call.
Supervisor Diamond? Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Warbath?
Yeah.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
All right.
Very much.
Thank you.